We have a hung parliament, 306 seats for the Tories, 20 seats left to call. She didn't have to do it. She squandered her opportunity. Will she last the 24 hours?
I think she lasts 24 hours. I don't think she lasts the weekend, however. I think that she'll probably resign over the course of the weekend. I think that the Tory party is normally quite ruthless in getting rid of its leaders once they are done with them. We've seen it with William Hague, we've seen it with IDS, with Ian Duncan Smith, and obviously David Cameron fell in a sword post the referendum. I think there'll be a lot of pressure within the Conservative Party to get rid of her. Who steps in, however, obviously remains to be seen. It's probably going to be a big beast, and they have to have a very firm position on Brexit, which points towards leave. So that's why the bookies are probably making Boris Johnson the favourite at the moment.
Well, that'll be interesting to watch, and at least we might have more of a clue of the leader's personal convictions, I suppose, on Brexit. Does Brexit still remain a guiding force then here for the political story and for the investment story, Jeremy?
I think it has to. I mean, this election was still a Brexit election, and we're still pulling apart. Obviously, not all the votes are in, not all the seats have been announced. So we're still waiting to see exactly and read through the tea leaves of what we're looking at as far as the political picture here. The British people have spoken. We're not really sure what they've said yet. But in the grand scheme of things, everything has to be viewed through the kaleidoscope of Brexit. Is she going to make a coalition agreement with the Ulster Unionists, for example? Does the border issue therefore become the most important thing around Brexit, and can we actually start talking about things in 10 days' time as originally planned?
When you sat down, you said to me, look, Manus, the economics of Britain had already begun to take a bit of a knock before the election. It's interesting, Jeremy Corbyn in his acceptance speech, who raised his total majority by 10,000, said politics has changed, it's not back in a box. Let's go to the Brexit barometer. Here you go. It's getting windy. Yeah. And it is going to get windier, I would assume, over the next 6 to 8 months. Talk me through from an economic point of view. We were slowing down, but prevarication and ambiguity, it's a phrase from Lloyd George, by the way, in Irish politics from the negotiation of when we went independent. So prevarication and ambiguity is what we look at. What does that do to the economic policy and the inflation outlook to the UK?
The inflation outlook still looks like it's going to run higher. We're still, the pain trade at the moment for the British consumer is still, my prices are going higher, but my wages are continuing to run lower, and it doesn't look like that's going to change anytime soon. The key step in with this, and obviously maybe a more of a voice for an anti-austerity fiscal easing policy within the government, within the Parliament, is that maybe we are able to take some of the pressure off consumers by increasing benefits, increasing social care, whatever that may be. But that's a lever that takes a long time to pull, and obviously takes a long time to come through into the economy as well. So as far as having a parliamentary impact on the data that we're going to see in 2 months, 3 months, 6 months from now, the downward trend is still very much in place.